right center. That ball is gone into Monument Park.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Monument Park podcast. I'm Cole Weintraub, and I'm alongside Luke Profaci. And man, this week had its highs and lows. The Yankees looked like that 100-win team that we're used to some nights, but others not so much. We're going to break it down just like usual, just like last episode, of what's happened since the last time we've hopped on. But before we get into it, Luke, how's life treating you today?
Life's good. I mean, yeah, with the Yankees, it's encouraging to see the people that I want to see do well are doing well. So even though we haven't won as many games as I'd like, I would have liked one or two more. It's encouraging stuff for the coming months.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, like I just said, it's been pretty up and down, but the last two podcasts were coming off wins, so it's not as depressing as the first episodes. That's how I'm gonna put it. But the last time we talked, we previewed, the marquee matchup, the Cole Bieber game, and it wasn't just like that first playoff game because we're hitting the ball left and right, but we got hits when we needed to. This was, I sat down and watched this game from start to finish. I don't think I missed a pitch. Cole, he looked dominant out there. Like, he's an animal. Like, he really is. Like, you read his line: 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 11 Ks. When he needed to pitch well, when we needed him the most, he went out there and did his thing. And that's why we have him. That's why he's our $325 million man. 111 pitches. If you look on the other side, Bieber threw 119. They had him in at one point for a very long time. They just kept leaving him in. I was very confused. So yeah, I felt like they left him in. Wasn't too much damage after. He kind of got out of it, but hey, we had back-to-back home runs or
same inning. I don't know if it was back-to-back, but same inning for sure. Yeah.
Hicks comes up, hits a bomb, no big deal, and pimps it. You'll love to see it. I remember I saw a Jared Carabas, who I loathe, bro. I dislike that man. Top tier, bro. He goes Aaron Hicks pimping a home run off the American League Cy Young Award winner with a 172 batting average, and then he did the same thing when Odor, who is hitting a $188.9 at the time, pimps a home run. And he just didn't, and people were chirping him. He was like, where are the videos? Like, where's the home runs? Because he loves to clown the Yankees. He said that the licensing wasn't there. Okay, buddy. But yeah, that was really cool to see, especially when Odor pimped one. I thought that was awesome. When Rudy pimps home runs, it's just beautiful, man. Especially when it comes out Shane Bieber, I find it very funny. You come down the stretch, go to the bullpen. After Cole's seven beautiful innings, we go to Wilson. He gets 2 outs. Wasn't looking great. His ERA at the time is 1.8. I feel like his ERA is like 12. I don't know. Justin Wilson hasn't really been amazing, but we got the ball to Loaizaga in that inning to finish out the inning. Get runners on sec. I'm trying to remember. There were runners on base. Pretty sure Rougned Odor came over to talk to him to like calm him down. It really seems like that's his thing. That was in the 8th inning. Wilson comes in, walks Perez, a 1-out walk, and then got Luplow to pop up. They pulled him out. So he did all right. He got the ball to Loaizaga, who's been money so far. Rosario popped up on the second pitch of the at-bat, and we went from there. Loaizaga pitched the 9th, his first career save, 4 outs. I mean, it was just a great game. I remember coming off that game thinking, we're just going to come into Cleveland tomorrow and just get the sweep because, we're feeling really good after beating up on the American League Cy Young. So all in all, it's really good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Garrett Cole made one less mistake than Bieber. It was fun to watch. And yeah, Loaizaga, that 4-out save was very Mariano-esque. Yeah. That took me back to the late 2009, 2010 teams where it would be we'd get it to 2 outs in the 8th, and Mo would come in and shut it down. He has been money. And, yeah, Wilson has been very off. That's the one bullpen piece that's kind of concerning. We'll talk about later. O'Day got put on the IL. But those two have been kind of shaky this week.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, Rugi, I love him. He's wearing 18. I saw a tweet where it was like he took Didi's number and he has the same swag, and I kind of agree because he's pimped probably every home run he's hit on the team this year.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we talked about it in the last episode. Like Rougned Odor brings that swag factor. Eric Kratz actually sent out a tweet. Rougned Odor might not be great, and he's not the same player. Well, he was never a great hitter, but he's not the same player. He just adds that extra element to the team. He adds that swag factor, as cringy as that sounds. But he loosens up the team, I feel like. I don't know how vocal he is in the dugout or in the clubhouse, but every home run, he's right next to the guy. He's always the first one to, dap up the guy hits a home run. He's just always there. Eric Kratz says the Yankees seem to be too professional sometimes, and Rougned Odor kind of, loosens them up, turns them a different direction. And I like that. I mean, but he's come up, and we'll talk more throughout the week. He's come up and just gotten big hit after big hit. And you have to respect that. I know the guy's hitting under 200, but what are you going to expect? He's gotten big hits. He's hit home runs, and he's played, solid defense. I don't know what else you have to ask for the guy, especially since we gave up nothing for him.
Exactly. We're not paying either. It's perfect. Yeah, we had a lot of momentum going into this game, and then the last Cleveland game just sucked. Gio and Ford went back-to-back, got us up 3-0 early, and J-Mo looked really good early, but he couldn't get through the order that second time, let up 4 runs. Franimal went deep, big fly. And one thing I was thinking of when I was prepping this and looking back, I was thinking about doing an opener for Tyone, maybe Mike King, because it kind of seems like they haven't had a role for King yet, and he has started games before.
Yep.
Because he's shown that right now he can't really get through the lineup without faltering a little bit that second time. Even today against the Tigers, it got shaky at the end. And I think maybe getting King or someone in to throw the first 2 innings and then bringing him in could get 6-7 inning length that we need out of him. I don't know. I was just wondering what you thought about that.
I mean, Michael King, we saw what he was as a starter last year. Wasn't doing too hot. It is super early in his career at that point, but I don't know. I've liked what I've seen from that temporary role that he's had. I think he should be on the team much more. I think he should have a bigger role because of how well he's pitched. I don't know. I kind of like him in that opener spot when in 2019 when we were rolling with the opener every fifth or sixth day. It was working. So I don't see why not go back to it. Maybe it helps out a guy like Tyone or Kluber. I'm not saying you put Kluber in an opener situation, but maybe like a Tyone, because Michael King and Tyone are completely different pitchers in my opinion. I think Michael King's kind of a similar guy to Corey Kluber in a way that everything that he throws kind of moves, has more velocity than Kluber nowadays. But Tyone's a guy that works up and down, side to side. But Michael King's a guy that's just going to try to put you away with his off speed and 2-seam fastball. So I kind of like that. Maybe not as a solid role the whole year, but you get it through these early months. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just because he hasn't pitched in so long, the stamina can't be there. And I like what you said. King and him do throw. Like, they get people out in different ways, so I think it could work. And, yeah, I mean, we just went down 4-3 and then punted. Nick Nelson came in, got shelled. He's terrible. Killed any chance we had to win the game. 7-3, it felt like we could have been down 100 at that point. The game was just over. And at this point in the year, how the offense was playing, we just weren't clicking enough to make a multi-run comeback on the road. You could tell we just packed it in.
Yeah, bro.
And I think it impacted us going into the next series, to be honest. It killed the momentum going into Baltimore.
Oh, totally. I mean, so we get those 2 home runs, feeling really good about it. You go up 3-0. Tristan McKenzie's pitching, a guy that we've never seen before. At least I don't think. No, we haven't. We've never seen him before. We get those 3 runs off him. He's working up that pitch count. I'm like, all right, we're sitting pretty good. sometimes Tyon just throws batting practice, man. Bring out the L screen. Like he likes to go up and down, but sometimes he just misses up. And we saw that on that friend. I want to call him the Fran Reyes. I don't know if it was a hanging slider, but it was something up and away, and he just went right with it, and popped it right over the wall. So yeah, I that was not a very encouraging start for Tyon, considering how well he started. I wanted to see him get through it without that bad inning that he's usually had this year, like that Blue Jays start where he looked lost that one inning. So yeah, I don't know. That put his ERA over 6. I remember I put out a tweet during the game that Fran Reyes is terrifying, and then he comes up, hits his second triple, I think, of his career against the Yankees. He's hit 2 triples in the series. One in the first game we beat the Indians, so that doesn't matter. But the second one, like, this guy looked like Mickey Mantle against us, and then he steals his first career base, I believe, as well. Why were we letting Fran Reyes take extra bases on him? Then again, the triple that he hit like the corner of the scoreboard on the wall, took a very funky bounce. So I guess that's the only way he's gonna hit a triple, but it was just like, really? Like, and then we bring in Nick Nelson. Like, I don't know what I have to say. I thank God this was the second game of the week that we're covering, and he hasn't been back since, because he got slammed down the minor
He's
league.
toast. He's done. He's
toast.
toast.
And you put a tweet out that they were sending him down, and that was the first that I saw it. And I was very, very happy that, he's gone.
Yeah.
And lastly, this was Mike Tauchman's last career game as a New York Yankee.
It was, he officially got traded after, I think, the second Baltimore game.
Okay, so we'll talk about it more then.
Yeah.
But
We can get right into that now before Baltimore. Honestly, it was just he wasn't going to get playing time enough to get his value up for you're good.
No, keep going.
Okay, I was just going to say he wasn't going to play enough to get his value up to the point where we could get more for him, and he also wasn't going to play enough to help the team really in any role other than like defensive replacement and pinch running. So I understand why, but it's just disappointing. He's a fan favorite, another guy with that attitude that brings a little extra to the Yankees that we've needed in times like this where we're not winning, and it just sucked to see. Peralta, though, I was looking, he has a good slider. He has good advanced stats. He has a low average exit velo per ball hit, low hard hit percentage and barrel percentage, which is good. That sounds like kind of the Yankees type of reliever, just come in and get the job done, get outs. And like we talked about in the first episode, this is just another example of the Yankees not capitalizing on value. Like, we could have all seen after 2019, he had a great year and there wasn't going to be room for him. We already had all the same players that we have now. It's not like we brought in anyone new, and we waited for his value to diminish, and then we just sold low. I bet we could have got a much better return for him than we did now. But best of luck to Mike Tauchman. All my Giant fan friends are really excited for him. He got 3 hits in this first game, and you can't do anything but root for him.
Yeah. So Mike Tauchman came over from the Rockies right before the 2019 season. Tyler Wade had been impressing Aaron Boone all throughout spring training, and I always thought that Aaron Boone had a man crush on Tyler Wade because he's always, finding a way on the team when he shouldn't be. So Mike Tauchman gets traded over, makes the team over Tyler Wade, and Tyler Wade was heated. Mike Tauchman plays that first part of the year, and he was just super enjoyable to watch. He would get on base. I think you just said that. He would get on base. He'd play good defense, and he'd have pop. So you know what I did? I freaking picked up the Sockman t-shirt.
I saw that in your farewell post. I love it.
He's awesome, man. and I'll never forget. I even made I made up his new nickname, TikTok. I made a freaking Mike Tauchman fan page. He was really good and really solid. And I remember, this is a weird memory of mine. We were playing that Minnesota game, that crazy Minnesota game in 2019. He comes up, starts the rally, lefty on left, walks against Taylor Rogers, works like an 11-pitch at-bat, something insane. Lefty on that at-bat really just, punched in that Mike Tauchman was one of my favorite Yankees. It's a shame that he had no spot on the team and he had no more options and he wasn't getting any playing time. But just like you said, like, we could have traded him after 2019. Maybe what the Yankees were thinking was, Gardner's coming off kind of a down year. Gardner's coming off a good year. What am I saying? So he's more of the – no, yeah, he hit 28 home runs that year.
Was that year? I was going to say I mixed it up in my head.
So he's, most likely the starting left fielder. We were not as high on Clint Frazier as we were now. Maven was gone. It's just I think they just thought he had a spot on the team. He ended up not playing great last year. But in the offseason, I remember hearing that 8 teams had called in for Mike Tauchman. So, and we got Wandy Peralta. I mean, like, sure, it's Mike Tauchman. It's nothing like, I'm not saying we're like trading Clint Frazier. It's Mike Tauchman. But then again, like, I felt like it was kind of a boring return. And we added another left-handed reliever. And if you think about it, I believe that's our 5th lefty reliever. If you break it down, we've got Litke, we've got Britton, we've got Chapman.
Wilson.
We've got Wilson. Is that it? Or is that 5?
That is 5. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any other.
So that's pretty interesting. Peralta's got an option left. They can send him down whenever they want.
Yeah.
And then another thing I saw was that the Yankees were at a Anibal Sanchez showcase. I don't know if this has anything to do with picking up Peralta and him having an option, but we could send Peralta down, sign Sanchez, and he can give us a couple starts. I don't know. I just don't know why they're at an Anibal Sanchez showcase. I just think it's very weird. But I mean, if Sanchez could come here and eat up a few innings against like bad teams like the Orioles, I mean, sure, why not? But I don't know. I just saw that and I was thinking, I remember Sanchez was pretty good in 2019 when the Nats somehow won the World Series that year. But last year he was brutal. 6.62 ERA last year, went 4-5, pitched in 11 games though. And then in 2019, he went 11-8, 3.85 ERA, 1.27 in 30 games. It's like kind of like a Jolis Chastain situation. Like,
yeah,
he kind of looks decent a couple of years ago. Maybe we can bring him in. And then I don't know. I'm going on too long about Anibal Sanchez, but maybe something that we end up doing.
If we had 8 offers for Tauchman and picked this one so we could sign Anibal Sanchez, that's just, I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we have a lot of innings eaters already. Like, we have our starting 5. We have Davey. Like, we have people. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could see it. It can't hurt, but I don't know. I'm not mad at getting another bullpen arm, though, because before this week, our starters are giving us no length. Mm-hmm. So you never have too many arms. So I didn't hate that. It was just more like they waited until now to trade him versus before was my problem with it.
Yeah, and we are getting a backup player to be named later. I just remember hearing on the radio, Susan Waldman was saying, "Oh, is this opening something else up?" And then I heard the Anibal Sanchez thing the next day, and I was like, maybe this is what.
Yeah, no, it's a good. Yeah.
So we go into the next game. I think we get every game's consecutive, so we go right to Baltimore. Hanging out with one of my best friends, biggest Met fan. All of my friends are pretty much Met fans. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, I just feel like Matt Harvey's just going to just shove against us. And it's literally what he did. He wasn't like throwing. It wasn't nasty. He was throwing the ball middle and we weren't hitting it very hard. Embarrassing, just embarrassing. The end of the game kind of like shadowed his performance because of what happened to us later in the game. But he went 6 innings, 3 hits, a run, 5 Ks. I'm going to say it again. It was embarrassing. Davey comes up. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. It is his first start, so I'll give him a break. But gives up that leadoff home run to Cedric the Entertainer. Finishes off 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He needs to get those walk numbers down.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's walking the guys, he's not throwing 100. I don't know what happened to his velocity. I remember seeing him pitch in the Futures game a couple years ago, and he was pumping 99, 98, 99, and his velocity just completely disappeared last year. Don't know what that's all about. Wasn't a great start. We go to the end of the game. I believe the bases were juiced, and freaking O'Day like slightly moved his arm. Embarrassing once again. Just yeah. I don't know. Like seeing that, like that was like, and it was so slight. So I was like, really, like that's ridiculous. So that bothered me. What inning was that? That was
7. Because I think Mullins went deep in the 8th off Wilson.
Yep, he went deep in the 7th, so this probably happened.
Oh,
in the 6th.
so 6th, yeah.
Oh, right, so 6th. Yeah, he comes in, balks, runner, move up, right? Wait, I'm confused. This has been a while, so I'm kind of losing.
Yeah, no.
So he balks, and Austin Hayes scores. It makes it first and second. And he eventually gets out of the inning, but that was just not the right time. He actually hit Austin Hayes. That's what led him on base. And then he balked him in. So just a very, just wasn't a good inning from O'Day. He's
Ottavino-esque. That it reminded me of Ottavino. I was like, it feels like we just didn't trade him and he's still on the team pitching for us right now.
I don't know. O'Day,
yeah.
I feel like O'Day's numbers at the end of the year are going to be a lot better than
definitely. And
it
was just a tough night.
Yeah, I'll probably say the same thing about Justin Wilson, who ends up giving up another home run to Cedric Mullins. This guy's looking like freaking Adam Jones swinging lefty. I don't know what he's drinking. But another thing that's interesting about him is he used to be a switch hitter, and now he's only swinging lefty, and he's destroying left-handed pitching. So I don't really understand that, but sure. So he's playing well. That's a benefit for them. So then we go to the 8th, flip it to the 8th. After that home run, lead off with a walk from Frazier. LeMahieu walks. We're down
4-1.
4-1 at this point. Yeah. I kind of stopped watching the game. I was disgusted after Matt Harvey was carving us up, but I saw the bases are loaded, or first and second, and Stanton flies out, which I'm pretty sure was right in front of the track. Judge comes up, walks, bases loaded. Rougned Odor wasn't very clutch there, struck him out. And then Urshela comes up, and when we're struggling, you need Gio. Gio comes up. Gio lines a single to left field. I'm like, let's go. And I've learned you learn this so early in your life. You never make the last out at third base. I don't know if it's Phil Nevin. I don't know if it's Aaron Judge. I feel like Phil Nevin's the worst third base coach in all of baseball. That's my opinion. I can't stand that guy. So Judge comes to third, and I feel like this has happened to the Yankees before. Judge gets tagged out, of course, because the throw was right on the money from Hayes, who's one of the best arms in baseball. And LeMahieu kind of slows up, but he's fully on the plate. And they call Judge out, and the run doesn't score. And then Boone, they just don't give him a chance to review the play. Like, he's on the phone. He should have reviewed the play immediately. Like, there shouldn't have been any hesitation because it's the 8th inning. You're down a run. If LeMahieu scores, at least it's 4-3, and you still, I don't know if Urshela moved to second on the play. He probably did, just follow Judge. But yeah, you still have another chance. Glaber coming up, what he's done against the Orioles in his career. But, the umpires didn't cooperate. Boone gets thrown out. I respect it. We didn't want to lose. And then he goes post-game. We ended up losing the game, whatever, so be it. Boone goes post-game, and it was talking about how we got bullied out there. If you're going to want to get us memed, just say something like that in the post-game press conference. Please, Aaron Boone. Please.
Any credibility he got from going crazy and getting tossed, he lost and then some on top of that for saying we got bullied by the umpires.
And we were playing the Orioles.
We're playing the Orioles in April.
And you got carved by Matt Harvey.
There's things you can't – there's key words as a manager, as a player you can't say, and that's definitely one of them. especially after a performance like that. Yeah, I mean, this game, it was just Matt Harvey, 6 innings, 1 run. You just can't. We had a balk. So it was a high school game. We played like a high school team.
We really did, and it
A
just
bad one too.
yeah,
Nothing like it wasn't like a good one. Like it was bad. It was tough to watch.
looking like oratory prep. Don't tell anyone I said that.
Oh no.
That brings. I've told people we're looking like the Yankees at school, and nobody wants to listen to me. So that game felt literally like rock bottom. Like I didn't know what to feel. I kind of wanted to go on a Yankee strike, but I can't do that to myself. So lead us into the next game. I didn't really watch too much of this one.
Yeah, I mean, the first game set us back to square one, but Kluber got us on the right track in game 2. He went 6 2/3, 6 hits, 1 run, only 2 walks. I love the only 2 walks because even though he hasn't necessarily been walking a ton of people every start, it's been his command that's been a little off and prevented him from getting the outs that he needs. And it was very encouraging length. We needed that so bad. We hadn't gotten out of the 5th inning more than like once other than Cole. I think it was just Montgomery. Like him and Tyone weren't getting length at all, and he did it in a big way, 6 2/3. And he let up 6 hits and 2 walks. He didn't only 1 run. That's getting in and out of trouble, which is good. Good to see he faced some adversity and he got through it, which is huge. And the offense rallied behind his performance. Judge and Higgy homered, and then Gio had a couple productive RBIs through single and a sac fly. The sac fly was the first of the year for us through 23 games, by the way. I don't know if you – that's not good.
As Josie McFly would like to say, the sac fly is underrated.
It is. I mean, it's a run. Like, that stat upset me. But, yeah, then Stan tackled on late to make it 5-1. Loizaga, another big 4 outs. He came in a jam in the 8th with 2 outs and got out of it. And then he let up a couple runners of his own on base in the 9th. Was this the 8th or the 9th when he got out of his own jam? I think the 9th. I think he let 2 runners on in the 9th and then punched the last 2 out to end the game. I could be mistaken there. Yeah.
Let me pull it up here.
Yeah. No, but yeah, either way, I mean, he got in and out of trouble in both the innings.
They lead off walk, strike out, and then a single by Hayes, made it 1st and 2nd. And then come to the mound visit, Rugi and company. And then he comes in and strikes out Cisco and Mountcastle. I truly thought Mountcastle was just going to unleash.
Huge.
But yeah, Loizaga is just gross. So
he's so good. He was always a year away. He's been a year away probably since 2018. And it was just so good to see him, even when he gets into trouble, just get right out of it. And he's a weapon for us. So yeah, that's all I have for game 2. It was pretty. That was that night. The Tauchman trade happened, but we already talked about that. There wasn't really any other major headlines coming from this game. It was kind of a quiet win. Good job by Kluber, though. Huge.
Totally. Really encouraging. At the end of his start, I don't know if you touched on this, but the end of his start, the last like 5 or 6 batters, he was getting tattooed. Everything was hard hit. I think Judge, I don't know if he robbed a home run, but it was very close to robbing a home run. I put on Twitter, I was like, why is Kluber still in this game? He's getting tattooed. They left him in the game. He ended up throwing 96 pitches, but really just like whatever the guy was throwing was just getting whacked. So wasn't the, most comforting ending, but he got out of it. Wish he had gotten out of that 7th inning. Licky did a nice job. His ERA is a little inflated. He's there than that says, but I think this was the start of the Stanton hot streak. Stanton's coming up, and the ball's looking like a ball. So
8-game hitting streak.
But before the game, we found out I'm driving back from my game, and I hear that the Yankees have given Kyle. I know you put this later on, but Yankees are giving Kyle Higashioka a shot. We saw what he did in this game, 2 for 4, ribby, and a run scored. I mean, I'm not all for Higgy playing every day, and he's not going to. But when Higgy hits, Higgy's got to play. Plain and simple. So
Yeah, I mean I just think the pitchers look more comfortable when he's back there, to be honest. And you saw it end result with Kluber. I know he got touched up a little bit at the end. I feel like that's what happens when you're re-stretching a pitcher out. He's gonna run into kind of hit a wall in a sense. But I mean, end result was so good, so we're glad to see it. And if they keep pitching like this with Higashioka behind the plate, then I'm willing to keep throwing him out there because he never seems like there's never an at bat where he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't always come through, but he's not overmatched at the MLB level in the box. So I like that. That's good.
yeah, I agree, and I'm just to go right back on it. I'm just happy Stanton's seeing the ball better because when you pay your designated hitter $33 million, he's supposed to hit the baseball, and he's been hitting the baseball. So I'm not going to get on him about it.
Yeah.
But props to him.
Very. Yeah.
And then we move on to the next game. It's the third game of this lackluster Baltimore series. Herman goes in and just had second straight day with a great pitching performance. 7 innings, 3 hits. I believe he carried a no-hitter into the 5th inning, which was cool. I don't know if we'll ever see a no-hitter by a Yankee pitcher. I'm just hoping that we win baseball games. Not really hoping for any no-hitters, but 6 Ks, a walk, no runs, and that's most important. It's a second good start. Pitched that April 22nd game at Cleveland, went 6, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 Ks. Like his control and his command, well, that's the same thing. But it's just been really it's just been really good lately. His velocity, it's like sitting 94. It was at like 95, 96, but I'd much rather have his command there than his velocity there because we saw what he had at the beginning of the season. He had his velocity but didn't have command, and he was getting shelled. So I'd much rather have Maddox Domingo than freaking Nolan Ryan Domingo. Terrible analogy. Just because I said that. But definitely, like it was good to see that, and the Yankees hit home runs. Mike Ford, pokes one into the first row out of left field. I'm just waiting until the day Mike Ford's just not on the Yankees at this point. I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna be off the team event. I don't know. I just feel like he's just bound to just not be on the team. He's got to be out of options soon. Like this guy gets thrown back and forth all the time.
All the time. If they cut Wade and keep him, though, I wouldn't be upset. Gio can be backup shortstop at this point. I'm fed up with Wade. But yeah, no, good.
No,
yeah.
So Ford homers, which was cool. Didn't expect that. Glaber 2-run single, which was good to see. Just another game of Stanton seeing the ball and hitting ball. Like John Sterling and Susan Waldman will rave about it on the radio. He doesn't have to hit home runs. He just has to hit the ball. He goes 3 for 5. LeMahieu goes 2 for 5. Torres goes 2 for 5. Urshela goes 2 for 4 with 3 ribbies. He
Big
hit a
home run.
Yep.
Big home run.
That was a home run that we needed to break it open, right? Higgy goes 0 for 4, so be it. Gardner goes 0 for 4, whatever. You're hitting 9th. But when we put up 7 runs, it doesn't matter. Clint had 2 hits. I feel like he's slowly sort of coming around. I don't know. Do you have to say something about Clint? I know you.
I was just maybe the trade woke him up. He was 3 for 11 with 2 home runs since the trade, and in the last Baltimore game, he just missed a 3-run shot. That would have been a huge momentum swing. I don't think he did very good today, if I'm remembering correctly. But either way, he's swinging at the ball. He wasn't swinging before. Now he's swinging. I think the trade kind of showed him that they had a little more confidence in him than maybe he thought, and it could be something that gets him going. Sometimes you just got to change something up for a player to get back on track, and I think this was a case of that.
One less outfielder you have to worry about, right? So,
exactly.
I mean, it was just an all-around Yankees. And Michael King comes in after Herman, goes 7, 2 innings, a hit, 2 strikeouts. I'm pretty sure we were getting to our die for the pylon mock draft, which you guys should go
check that out.
Description.
Yep.
even though the draft's over, you might want to check out our mock draft. That I think we had a combined 9 picks correct, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so just a good all around game. We go to the fourth game of the series.
Yeah. So my last note for game 3 was 0 complaints. It was the easiest game we've had so far. Game 2 and game 3 were both pretty easy. Then my first note for game 4 was many complaints. Montgomery was he was 5 innings, 2. Yeah, it was such a Montgomery start. 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. I said it was a little uglier than the stats showed, but he battled. The ump was helping him out. Were you watching?
I was not watching. I was listening.
My goodness. The outside, he was giving him like a foot off.
Really?
Consistently. It was crazy. I think things could have gone a lot different. But I mean, hey, sometimes that's how it goes. He got sent out for the 6th, and Mancini took him deep. I didn't mind it though. He was only at 70 pitches, even though he looked iffy. His pitch count was low, and I didn't mind that at all. But of course, he got yanked right after. Chad shoved. He had two innings, no hits, 4 strikeouts, and then O'Day gave up a run. Him and Wilson looked not good this series at all. And I think O'Day actually got sent down after this game, so maybe he tweaked something on the mound. Yeah. And then the only big hits were Rugi 2-run single and the Glaber double to tie the game, which that ball doesn't bounce over the fence. We have a much different outlook on this series because LeMahieu was scoring. It was, yeah. I mean, standing at 3 hits again. He's 9 hits in his last 3 games, or maybe 8. Either way, 3 multi-hit games in a row. In the 2-hole, do you think that's the difference? They moved him to hitting second. I think that could be another instance. Sometimes you just got to shake something up, and I think that's what we're doing right now, and it's working. And then we get to extras. Tyler Wade looked like a 7th grader trying to get that bunt down. He was standing in the back of the box, wasn't even close. He set an angle with 2 strikes, like he was trying to bunt it for a perfect hit. I would have been okay if he didn't set an angle at all. Literally, you just got to get it down. 2 strikes. I knew we were doomed after that. They walk it off in the 10th. A little weak sack fly after a bunt. It was just like the most typical starting the inning with the runner on second, fake baseball ending I could have drawn up. And you just can't split with the Orioles. It was very upsetting. I really wanted 3 out of 4 from that. It would have set us on a good track going into this series.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of a good track we got to go on to the Detroit Tigers, but yeah. I understand what you mean. But hey, if, we're speaking into the future. If we can sweep this Tiger series, we said it that we would take 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
So maybe it makes up for this. But this is a loss that you just really want to have back. You don't want to lose a game like this. Odor comes up and hits a big 2-run single, puts you ahead. You have another chance to score that inning, and of course you don't. Just they put Gary back in the lineup. He went 1 for 3 with 2 walks.
He looked better. He looked good. I'm not gonna lie. He had good swings, but it's Gary. Like there's only so much you can say.
Yeah. At the point, this was Stanton's part of his 8-game hit streak. Did you already mention this?
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, we can rehash on it because he's never hit 8 games in a row in his career. I don't think. So it's just great.
Not surprising. I like bringing Montgomery because he's pitching well, but you really got to think about Mancini, right-handed hitter. He really hits lefties well. He's seeing him again. I'm pretty sure he hit every ball that he saw against Montgomery hard. Maybe you reconsider. I know you're trying to get every last drop out of the bottle and try to save that bullpen, but sadly not.
Yeah, when Chad's fully available, like if Chad's fully available and he gives you 2 innings. I mean, obviously hindsight, you don't know he's going to give you 2 innings, but he's capable of doing that. And we had arms. It's just
Isn't Chad Green one of your favorite Yankees?
Yes. I'm a big Chad Green guy. I just like his demeanor on the mound. He's a stud. Him and Loizaga is giving me 2019 or 2018 Chad Green vibes, where every time he was on the mound, I just knew he was getting out of it.
Yep, I feel that. Yeah, that 27. It was kind of like Canely almost. Canely in 2017.
Yeah. I miss that guy.
I do too. Well,
I'm a big Red Bull connoisseur, and that's what he was a big Red Bull guy too. So I thought it was cool because it was like this guy's in the bullpen slugging a Red Bull, and that's exactly the same thing I'm doing. I just always like that.
always. So, we play another game straight. I don't even know how many at this point. We really don't have to say too much about this game. Really, nothing happened other than Garrett Cole dominating 6 innings, 4 hits. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't watch a second of this game because the NFL draft was on. So he went 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 12 Ks. I was keeping up on my phone, but Judge grand slam. I'll take 2 bombs from him, but I'd rather hit 2 bombs against it in a game that we need bad against a good team. And then Aaron Hicks, Rougned Odor, Clint Frazier, they all went yard. It was just a home run parade. We faced Tariq Skubal. Like, he's a guy that, like, he's got a good arm. He's lefty, and his breaking stuff is good, but he's not ready to pitch against the New York Yankees. He can go pitch against, like, well, I won't say the Royals because they're like the best team in the American League, which I did call in a past podcast.
Did you really?
I did. I said that they were my
secure that clip. That's a good clip to have.
I'm gonna go back and save that. But yeah, I don't know. He's not ready. He's not ready to face a team like the New York Yankees. But I guess that's how you get exposure. Just a good win. After coming off that loss, we need to really just stick it to a team, and that's exactly what we did. We saw a debut from Wandy Peralta, didn't watch it, but supposedly he pitched well. So let's go with it.
I didn't even know he pitched until I re-looked at the box. I was the same. Huge draft, guys. It's tough. It was a big day. I don't know. Good win. These 2 Tigers games have been pretty low stress. Other than the JMO jam in the 5th inning, bases loaded, got the big punchy. Other than that, it's been pretty low key. It did get sus at the end. Wilson gave up a 2-run single. I didn't see how those runners got on, but the bloop hit was fluky. Yep. And then Chad let up a solo shot. I feel like that happens sometimes with him and lefties. His fastball just stays flat, and bad things happen. But
Chapman strikes.
Huh?
I said the guy throws too many strikes.
Yep, pounds the zone. But going back to game 1, I think Garrett Cole's gonna win the Cy Young.
I do too.
He's unhittable. That'd be cool. Cole wins the AL and DeGrom wins the NL. That'll be a good little storyline.
Yeah,
we gotta start playing better though. Both of us. The Mets stink too.
Yeah, if Garrett Cole doesn't end up winning it, and Bieber ends up winning it, at least we know we own Bieber. So, Garrett Cole is our true Cy Young. Shane Bieber's just a loser.
Yeah, exactly. Never gonna win anything.
Beat the Yankees. So we move on. Second game, we just touched on it. Yeah, that 5th inning. When Miguel Cabrera comes up, you don't really expect something good to happen. He's been killing the Yankees. I wasn't alive and I wasn't watching, or I was alive. I just wasn't watching baseball in October of 2003. But he hit a home run against Roger Clemens in the World Series when he was like freaking 20. And I feel like he's just dominating teams since, and he's played pretty well against the Yankees since. Pretty surprised Tauchman didn't make a mistake in that spot because he didn't have an explode inning. He didn't. Like, every start, he's had a pretty bad inning. This time, he didn't have one. I'm glad they pulled him out in the 6th. They gave the ball to Lasagna. He's just a beast.
He's so good. Oh my God. I can't stress enough how good he is. And I was just gonna say Tauchman is, like I was saying last episode, these pitchers when they're coming back from these long-term injuries, there's gonna be starts that are stepping stone starts where you see that the results can be there. They just have to do it. And I think that was that. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, totally. I totally agree with that. He needs to, ease back in. But Loaizaga, when he's money, no one can hit him. And then, like, when he hasn't been on this year, like, he can work in and out of his own jams, and like that is something that you love from a young relief pitcher, because when you can show that poise and that calm energy on the mound when you're struggling and just keep battling, like, the guy shows no emotion, like, at all. I was listening to something on the radio. Him in that Baltimore series, he was touching 100. They were wondering why he was throwing 100, and he came back to the dugout and said that like there was a hole in the mound, and that he was overstriding. And Matt Blake thought that was pretty funny that he wasn't even like doing anything mechanical or trying to do anything on purpose. He was just throwing 100 just because he was striding. Um, so yeah, I think
Maybe stride more. He's overstride more if he's throwing 100 with movement.
Hey man, when he's trying to gas up, the other team, maybe it'll tip his pitch, but I don't really know how many guys can just get on top of 100 and put it in play. So yeah, I think the Yankees are in a good spot going in tomorrow. You got Kluber. It's just another one of those starts. He's got Detroit. Detroit's seen him a lot before. I don't know how many of these Detroit hitters have seen him before because I feel like this is a completely different Detroit Tigers team. Even though the Tigers have stunk, I just feel like it's different players. Miggy's definitely seen him, but like guys like Baду and Goodrum's probably seen him as well. Scope, but yeah, I just think he needs to just keep going with the start tomorrow and just go through it, man. I think I'm confident in him that he'll get the job done tomorrow. I mean, it is the Tigers, so is that really like should he be proud of that I'm confident in him? Probably not, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, hope so. Yeah, and then you look ahead. We got we have an off day, and then the Astros and Nationals coming up. I think we have a chance. Whenever our team decides to string wins together and build momentum and take the division back, we will. I'm convinced because we played so many interdivision games early with the Rays and the Jays, and those are games even when we're doing really well that we can drop a couple of them.
Yep.
So I think we're lined up to play teams whenever we wake up. It's going to be scary. We can rattle off like 7, 8 in a row and be back on track.
And we look at today's game, we had a 2-hit performance from LeMahieu, a 3-hit performance from Judge. He's on fire. Ever since that weird injury, I don't think we talked about it, that weird, like, lower half injury that we heard about.
Travel soreness. They said it was because we were traveling. Like, I don't
Traveling from Cleveland to Baltimore, is that like what?
I don't know what that means. We'll just
quick plane ride. So he's up. His batting average is up to 291. His OPS is 977, and Glaber has a 2-hit game. He has a 2-run single after that Judge 2-run single. That was a really good inning. I'm sorry to go back and talk about this game, but we didn't really touch upon it. Glaber's up to 245, which is, hitting 250. If Glaber could hit 250, I'd be totally satisfied with that. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I know I believe it's your turn again because I couldn't find a game, but it's your turn again for the Yankees random Yankees game of the day. So
you're good. Yeah, I did September 26, 2009. It was when we actually clinched the playoff berth. Sabathia pitched 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits. He was the first to 19 wins that year, and that's when wins were a big deal. I feel like we've so gotten away from that in terms of like keeping up with stats, but that was a big deal. That was a great year for him. Yep. And yeah, I was looking. It was actually kind of a dud game. We went 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Damon had a 2-out hit, and then let's see, Cano had a home run to put us up 3-0. But yeah, it didn't matter. We were locked down on the mound. We went Sabathia to Hughes to Rivera to close it. I forgot Hughes was so viable in that pen. He was a weapon. And yeah, I mean we were the best team in the league that year, and there was no doubting that. And this was cool to cap off after we actually started 0-8 versus the Sox this year, and then capped it off winning 8 of our last 9 and clinching the playoffs this game and then the division next game against them. So that was a good way to recover for that. But yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm looking through both rosters. I can pick out 2 guys that are still playing. You have 3 guys. I'm sorry. You got Robinson Cano. Don't know if you can count him, but you got Gardner who pinch ran. Jed Lowry started at shortstop for the Red Sox. And Daniel Bard, who made a nice comeback, pitching for the Rockies now.
Really?
Yeah, he made a comeback last year. Yep. So
wow, good for him.
That was a good game. Yeah, and I don't know. So the Yankees were struggling against the Red Sox this year. I I actually can go back if we want. If we have some time, we can
Yeah,
quickly go to a second random game of the day. August 22nd, 2009. I didn't just pull that game out of my rear end. I looked it up. August 22nd, 2009. I'm at Long Beach Island with my dad, just me and him, watching the game, 4:00, Fox game. You know, we're ready to watch it. Yankees, Red Sox, Fenway. And, you know, quickly in the first inning, stuff just did not go well. It was Burnett pitching. And that was my first year watching baseball, and that was the first Yankee that I despised. Wait, not August 22nd. What am I saying?
No. August 22nd, we lost 14-1. Is that what you're thinking of?
August 22nd, 14-1. That's right. Right.
Yep.
August 22nd, 14-1. Right. So I ended up taking a nap from like the second inning to the ninth inning. And I was like 9:00 and we went to like Rita's. And I remember looking at the Yankees score and I was like, what happened? Like Junichi Tozawa started. Like Junichi Tozawa, that was a rough game. I'll always remember how I was so pumped up for that game when I was little, seeing the Yankees play and then like falling asleep in the second inning.
We only had this is this year type stat line. We had 1 run on 12 hits. Like, how do you? I don't understand how you even that. I don't understand how it's a thing. And all the hits were the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all hit in the same part of the lineup. I don't understand how we didn't score.
Yeah, but I'll always remember that game and how the Yankees.
That's funny. That's a funny story.
Oh yeah. Yep. So then we finish out the year, beat up on Boston. That's how it goes. And hopefully when the time comes, it's probably going to be in a little bit, but when the time comes, we can beat up on Boston. And hopefully by then, you know, we're within 3 games and we can just sweep them and get back.
They lost today, so I think it's 3.5 now, which is good. They pulled ahead in the 6th, I believe, but they ended up losing. It's good. It's early to look at standings.
I know,
but you can't let it get away.
Can't.
So we're not letting it get away, which is good.
Well, I'd say we're playing. You know, we're still in it. We're playing good enough right now.
Treading water.
Yeah, we're treading water, but
on May 1st.
Yep. If we go on a nice win streak, I mean, the Yankees are back. I mean, we said it last episode. The Yankees are back, so we're just rolling on that to end the episode. I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. I think are listening. I'd say that we're gonna probably pump out episodes either Friday or Saturday. Most likely Saturdays, Fridays, whatever works. But yeah, let's go Yankees. We got the Tigers tomorrow. Let's go Kluber. And let's carry this into the Astros series, which is going to be very, very interesting. And we'll talk more about that in the next episode. But for the 3rd time, thank you guys for listening and watching. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Monument Bark Podcast.
Yep, for sure. Follow the Instagram and Twitter at Monument Bark Podcast. Sometimes we're busy. We're high school kids. We have games and stuff, but when we can, we're live tweeting, and I bet that could be pretty funny if you're watching along. So make sure you give us a follow.
Totally. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
And thank you guys. See you later.